Montezuma II was the 9th emperor of the Aztec Empire between 1466 and 1520. Hernán Cortés, the Spanish conquistador, captured Montezuma in 1519 and used the emperor to control and rule the empire until he died in 1520. Montezuma was born in Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztec Empire and the present site of Mexico City. He received a thorough education in religion, science, and art, and was especially devoted to his religion, becoming a priest in the temple of an Aztec war god. He also distinguished himself in numerous Aztec wars. Montezuma succeeded his uncle to the throne in 1502. He took over an empire of 5 to 6 million people that was based in present-day Mexico and dominated the area known as Mesoamerica. He became known for both his pride and his superstition. Because he was even more superstitious than his predecessors, he was influenced by omens and prophecies, and that later became his main weakness. Montezuma dismissed all common people from his court and raised taxes on the merchants. Although his advisors warned him that harsh measures would weaken the empire, he demanded the same heavy taxes from conquered tribes that his predecessors had. He also launched numerous expeditions to obtain sacrificial victims, and these actions led to revolts and wars with several tribes. In 1519, the Spaniards arrived. Montezuma claimed to be concerned that they might be emissaries or agents sent to represent the Aztec god Quetzalcoatl, who is expected to someday return. Some now believe that the Aztecs may have used Quetzalcoatl as an excuse to explain the devastating defeat that occurred under Montezuma's rule. Later, Spanish clerics also played on this superstition, arguing that their arrival had somehow fulfilled an ancient prophecy. So both sides used the Aztec god as an excuse to justify their actions after the conquest had taken place. Montezuma tried to persuade the Spaniards to leave by offering rich gifts, but when that failed, he invited them into his splendid court at Tenochtitlan. In return, Cortés seized Montezuma as a hostage with the intention of governing through him. Many Indians welcomed Cortés as their savior from Aztec control, and when he seized the emperor, Cortés became master of the Aztec Empire without so much as a fight. Montezuma summoned all his chiefs, ordering them to obey the Spaniards and to collect taxes and gold for the Spanish monarch. Cortés began using Montezuma to carry out his own wishes, and Cortés governed from behind the throne. Cortés and his men remained in Tenochtitlan for several months. By then, a new Spanish expedition from Cuba had reached the Mexican shores with orders to limit Cortés's power. Leaving one of his lieutenants in command, Cortés marched to the coast and persuaded his compatriots from Cuba to join him. In the meantime, an incident that occurred in Tenochtitlan resulted in the city being besieged by Indians. While Cortés was away, the Indians of Tenochtitlan invited the remaining Spaniards to a big party. The Spaniards ate, drank, and had a good time, but at the end of the festivities, their host brought out several rival Indian captives and cut out their hearts. The Spaniards lost their tempers at this shocking display and killed all the Indians present. The rest of the Indian population saw this insult as a major act of sacrilege. Consequently, when Cortés returned, he found his men barricaded in the palace and about to starve to death. He ordered Montezuma to arrange for supplies, but the emperor refused. Cortés then released one of the Aztec chiefs with orders to open the markets and bring back food. Instead, the chief assumed the leadership of the revolt, and there was furious fighting in the capital. Cortés finally convinced Montezuma to address his people and to order them to obey the Spaniards. But the angry Indians refused to listen to their captive emperor and showered him with stones. Montezuma died several days later, in June of 1520. It's not known if he died from wounds inflicted by the mob or at the hands of the Spaniards, who had no further use for him. Either way, his days as emperor were over.